little kitchen here in Lecce in the south of Italy. My name is Francesco, and today I'm going to show you how to make the classic Italian side dish of peperonata, but I'm going to make the Sicilian version, where we like to add pine nuts and raisins with some anchovies and some crispy breadcrumbs, which I'm going to toast together with a little bit of salted ricotta. There's going to be a bit of garlic and onion in there, but otherwise all you need is a nice mix of peppers and about 30 minutes of time. So I hope you enjoy this recipe. If you do, please give me a thumbs up and do leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. Come back and follow me for more. Let's cook. For today's recipe you're going to need a mix of peppers, white onion, pine nuts, raisins, anchovies, breadcrumbs. I'm using salted ricotta, but you could also use pecorino or parmesan cheese, garlic, chili if you like a bit of heat, parsley, a good extra virgin olive oil, and a little splash of vinegar. The first thing we need to do is to slice our peppers. Cut them away from the seeds, remove the top and the bottom, take away the stem, and then cut everything into long thin slices. If you place your pepper the skin side down, it's much easier to slice through. You don't have to use different coloured peppers, but of course it does look much prettier this way. As well as the peppers, you're going to need a sweet onion, also thinly sliced. And if you like a bit of heat, like me, you can add a chili pepper. We're going to begin by heating up some olive oil. You don't need too much, and then we're going to place an anchovy in it and let it heat up until we see it start to sizzle, and at this point it will start to dissolve. Going to stir it around, mash it down, and when it falls apart, then we can go in with the breadcrumbs. So let's recap. We're using 3 peppers, to which we added 1 anchovy, and to that I've added 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. Stir these through on a moderate heat so that they don't burn, and then you can either add grated salted ricotta like I did, or some grated parmesan or pecorino cheese. You need something nice and salty, as well as the anchovies, which are salty of course, to give the breadcrumbs some good flavour. You don't need to have plenty of oil. What you want to do is to have the breadcrumbs lightly coated in oil and then toast them so that they are nice and golden and crispy. Now that the breadcrumbs are done, we need to do the same thing and dry roast some pine nuts until they're lightly golden brown. That's all of our prep work done. Now we can get busy with the actual cooking of the peperonata. Again, add some extra virgin olive oil, and then we're going to go in and add the onion first. Actually, I should have added an anchovy first and let that dissolve as we did with the breadcrumbs, but I forgot. So in goes the anchovy now. Then I'm going to add a good pinch of coarse sea salt, and this will also help the onion to give off its juices, which will also help the anchovy to dissolve. The important thing is to get everything cooking together so that the onion gets well infused with that salty flavour. It might seem strange, but adding the salt brings out the natural sugars of the onion, which helps it to caramelise, and that's a great thing. Once the onion has become translucent, we're going to add the sliced peppers, and we can also go in with the chili flakes now. Give everything a good stir and a toss to get it coated in oil. We don't need a lot of oil, we just need it to coat everything so that it can cook well. What we're then going to do is turn the heat down to a moderate flame till everything begins to slowly start stewing together. There was actually something else that I forgot, and that was the garlic. But it's never too late, especially with this cooking method. There it goes. What we're going to do is add water anyway, so the peppers are going to steam in their own juices. So it makes no real difference whether the garlic fries or not. It just needs to be there to infuse everything with its flavour. Add just a small amount of water, and when it's boiling vigorously, place on the lid and let the peppers steam for a good 5 or 6 minutes. At this point, the peppers are probably cooked enough that you could eat them, but they're not sweet and tender enough to taste the way that they're supposed to. What we're going to do is continue cooking. We're going to season with some regular freshly ground black pepper, we're going to add a good splash of white wine vinegar, and then we can go in and add the raisins. Now we have enough moisture in the pan for them to swell up and cook nicely. If you don't like raisins, you could also add a pinch of sugar, but in Sicily this is traditional. Pine nuts and raisins are a very classic flavour combination. Put on the lid and allow them to cook for a further 10 minutes or so. In the meantime, we can coarsely chop a small bunch of parsley. This is what the peperonata should almost look like. It still needs to cook a bit further, but see how everything has softened up and become much more tender. At this point we can also remove the garlic, and what's happened is the raisins and the onion and the peppers themselves have given off plenty of sugars which have made this deliciously sweet and tasty. And of course, with that little bit of salt and vinegar and anchovies, everything is wonderfully balanced. All we need to do now is to serve it up. To make it extra delicious, now that the peppers are lovely and soft, we're going to add the crispy and crunchy breadcrumbs, a generous sprinkle of chopped parsley, and then we're going to top it off with the toasted, crunchy and delicious pine nuts. This is a true taste of Sicily. This tastes wonderful warm, but it tastes absolutely fantastic cold, so you can prepare this well in advance and have it as part of any lovely Italian summer meal. Buon appetito! Enjoy!